If you're advertising a home for rent, it can be easy to become discouraged. That's because if you don't craft it in the right way, it'll just be drowned out by all the other listings, never to be seen again. And of course, that results in an empty property and then you're not making money. If you're in that position, absolutely no need to worry. I'm going to take you through step by step how to write a great rental ad, including how to craft an effective advertisement, from the wording to important details you can't forget to include, how to create eye-catching, attractive photos of your property or unit, and a list of some of the best platforms for listing your property. A rental ad is mostly about the words and the media that you use. A lot goes into putting together a great rental ad, so I decided to make a little checklist for you before we get started. So what you're going to need is a detailed description of the property, photos, and if possible but not necessary, some videos of the property or unit, the property type and size, amenities, any recent updates or upgrades, any other attractive aspects such as proximity to a desirable location, of course the rent price, the lease duration, and other relevant fees such as like pet rent. And of course you'll need to know your rules and restrictions such as are pets allowed, what's the parking like, things like that. If that list seemed a little overwhelming, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you. First, let's start about how to write a great rental description that attracts applicants. And if you're not a writer, there is no need to worry once again, because you don't need to be a writer in order to put together an attractive description for your rental. I'm gonna go over some examples in a little bit, but first let's talk about the overarching things you need to keep in mind. First, you wanna write as if you're speaking directly to the person who's reading your description. You wanna make them feel as though they are walking through the property and get them drawn into the moment. This isn't always possible and you don't wanna overuse it, but when it's used at the right times, it can be very powerful. For example, here's an atypical listing without much effort spent crafting its description. It reads, "Welcome to this oversized two-story home in the heart of Silmore with 2,062 square foot living area, open floor plan, central heat and AC, 2-car attached garage, and a large backyard." And then here's another example using what we just talked about. "The Valley Village condo you've been patiently waiting for. Set inside a quiet, secured building with no neighbors above or below you. This spacious tri-level home has it all. Truly immaculate, this recent remodeled home was redone with meticulous attention to detail, from the brand new central air condition and heating unit, upgraded electrical and plumbing, to new Milgard windows throughout. No expense was spared. Upon entering, you'll find a spacious dining room and step-down living room that is perfect for entertaining." So do you see the difference between those two? Instead of saying, "The central living room is large and includes access to every room along with a sliding glass entry to backyard," you could say, "Your new living room is large and includes access to every room along with a sliding glass entry to the backyard." That is better, but it does still need a little bit of work, so let's move on to the next section and what we can do about it. You want to try to use descriptive language to spice up bland sentences. Many rental descriptions are bland and uninspiring. And why should yours be any different? It's not to stand out, though it does help. Rather, using more enticing and descriptive wording further helps your future tenants visualize the property and creates a positive connection emotionally. So let's get back to the example and see what this does. You can take it from, "Your new living room is large and includes access to every room along with a sliding glass entry to the backyard," and we spice it up a little bit to say, "Your new living room is expansive with high ceilings and an open floor plan. It includes easy access to every room in the house along with a sturdy sliding glass door for a convenient entry and visibility to the backyard." By adding phrases like expansive, open, easy access, you help your prospective tenants visualize this space. So think of words that positively resonate with you when you think of a home. Maybe words like open and convenient will help convey not only what the actual space is like, but they also entice the prospect and appeal to their emotions. Another idea is to get detailed when describing specific sections of the property. So don't just say tile floor, say travertine tile floor if that's what it is. It sounds more impressive and takes a little additional work. All this taken together equals one thing: more compelling descriptions and higher response rates to your ads. You also want to keep your ideal tenant in mind when writing. This is less about how to write and more what you write, or what you include in the listing itself. And you need to be careful not to unintentionally discriminate and breach any fair housing laws. With that said, there are screening related items that you could include that make it likely that the right kind of tenant is going to respond to your ad. So for example, you can include a short bulleted section with things such as full background check with application, 12-month lease, no month-to-month, pets allowed or pets not allowed, no smoking, free parking, things like that. So as you can see, these are more screening items than anything else. And including things like no month-to-month and full background check in your description will help filter out potential applicants who wouldn't be fit for you right off the bat. That way, the applicants you do get are more likely to be of the caliber over that you're looking for in the first place. Just be careful not to push potential applicants away with your language, and try to put this at the bottom of your description so it's one of the last things that they're going to see. You don't want to turn off potential applicants thinking that you're a bit too strict or difficult. And the last section of writing your description is to sell your USP. So in business, USP stands for unique selling proposition. When crafting the ad for your rental property, you need to think about what your USPs are and flaunt them. So for example, maybe your property is close to the city center, which has a lot of great cafes, or it has a massive backyard, or maybe it has a super cool extra room in the back that could be converted to anything from a man cave, recording studio, or even an indoor patio. It doesn't have to be anything crazy like that. It could even just be stainless steel appliances, a smart thermostat, covered parking, a dishwasher, AC. These are all big selling points that renters are looking for. So now that we've kind of started putting together your listing, let's talk about a very critical element, including eye-catching photos. Think about how you might look at an ad. First, you'd skim over the top, including the address, price, immediate details that jump out to you, and then where do your eyes go? Immediately to the photos. You could argue that the photos you include in your ad are literally the single most important thing. So with that in mind, how do you take great photos of your rental property? I'm gonna go over a few tips with you. First, lighting is key. It is so important. When it comes to photography, lighting is the one ingredient you simply have to master. Otherwise, your photos look like this instead of this. That's a really big difference, isn't it? And the best way to fix this is by simply including as much soft white light in the photo as possible. Of course, you want to make use of any windows where natural light can pour in, as that's the easiest way to solve a lighting problem. And you definitely want to be careful of yellow tones of artificial light, as those typically look really bad in photos. If you need to, you could pick up large white lamps from your nearest hardware store and prop them on light stands for great lighting at no more than just a few dollars. And my second tip is that more is better. This is a simple point, but it's definitely super important. If you're in doubt, always include more photos of your property, not less. If you have two photos that are pretty similar, but then one has a slightly better view of another section of the room, just include both. Get a photo of every room and every space in the property. Include exterior spaces such as patios and backyards. Users definitely prefer having more photos to flip through when looking at a listing, and the more you have, the more chances you get to show off your property. And of course, as a disclaimer, it does depend on the listing platform you're using, how many photos you can actually include, but in general, definitely make sure you're taking the most advantage of the space given to you by the platform. And my third secret for photos is editing. So while lighting is super important, the real secret weapon of a great photo is good editing. You can't fix every issue during the editing process, but you can fix most issues. The most common issue you could fix when editing is lighting. Keep in mind you can't completely fix the bad lighting, so please still try to follow the lighting tips that I gave. However, you can make your photos look brighter and livelier without too much effort. And if editing seems complex, don't worry, I have some options for you. So if you're willing to go all out and would prefer to do it yourself, you could use something like Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop. Adobe offers professional level editing tools with everything you could want, but they come at a decent price. And if you're strapped for cash and rather use a free option, you could use something like Pixlr. And lastly, if you'd rather just have someone else handle it, you can use freelance contract-based sites like Fiverr and Upwork, and they're great options for hiring help. So Fiverr starts on the lower end, and you can find a number of great photo editors for cheap, with their price per photo typically ranging between like $5 and $35. Whichever way you decide to go, you do have options for producing professional level photos that capture your prospective tenant's attention. And remember, photos are key, so if you have a tight budget, please invest in photos first. Now that we've thoroughly covered everything you need to craft a killer ad for your rental, you might be wondering where to put this ad. So here are 5 of the best rental listing sites to place your ad on. First, we have Zillow. It still remains one of the top rental listing sites that exists. It should likely be the first place you go when posting your rental ad online. Zillow offers a variety of tools for both regular listings as well as paid advertising, so there's a little something for everyone and every budget. Number 2 is Trulia, an extension of Zillow in some ways. Trulia stands apart as a great platform specifically for those looking for rentals. That makes it perfect for posting your rental property ad, and in some cases can even get more responses per view given a more targeted user base. Users particularly appreciate Trulia's scoring system, which takes into consideration the surrounding area, including crime and schools, stuff like that. And if your property is particularly strong in those areas, Trulia is an especially strong choice for you. A third option is Apartments.com. It's one of the largest rental-specific platforms online. Apartments.com makes it especially easy to put your listing up by walking you through the entire process. And if your property has a number of great amenities, Apartments.com is particularly good at showing those off, making it an even better choice for you. Number 4 is RentBerry. They're another platform specialized in rentals. RentBerry offers a sleek app that's super easy to use and growing in popularity. However, where it differs is the fact that it's syndicated, which will take your property info and post it on multiple platforms such as Realtor.com and Zumper. You can see everything from your login in RentBerry though, so it makes it super easy to see all your application applications and responses from just one place. And number 5 is Craigslist. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. I know it's super old, but trust me, it's still kicking it as a viable source of leads. It shouldn't be your first option, but it does work well as a source, especially if you typically attract more matures. And then a bonus place you could try listing your ad is with DoorLoop. It can be a lot of work to craft a really great rental ad, so wouldn't it be nice if someone just took care of that? Well, that's where DoorLoop comes in. There are a number of great rental listing platforms out there, but posting to each of them can be really time consuming. With DoorLoop's automatic listing feature, you can list your property on major platforms like Zillow, Trulia, and Apartments.com in just a few minutes. Plus, you can use DoorLoop to manage every aspect of your properties at the same time. Instead of having to jump around to multiple rental sites and spreadsheets, managing everything, give yourself a break by bringing everything together in a single centralized platform. And DoorLoop does a lot more than just automatically listing your ads, so if you want to check us out, you can click the link down in the description. And no matter how you decide to create your rental ad and market your property, I really hope that this video just helped you out. If it did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more property management content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!